All right, welcome to the Corner Office Podcast. I'm here with a very special guest, Mehul from VIBN Vintage. Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad you reached out to me to saying that you're here in Ottawa for the holidays. To say, when I messaged you to say I wanted to do this podcast with you, I was really looking forward to it. So we didn't really talk for a little while, so I'm happy that you reached back out, man.
Yeah, no, I think we reached out in June, right?
Yeah.
We were talking in June, and then I would come to Ottawa, but it would be for a day.
Yeah.
And then I would just be back, so never really got too much time to hang out and actually have a couple of days to myself.
How do you like Ottawa compared to Toronto?
Oh,
you can talk shit. It's okay.
I think Toronto's I think it's so fun. Ottawa's a little more dead, compared to Toronto, but it's still pretty fun. It has its own vibes. Ottawa's if you go downtown, I like it. It's pretty fun. I'm going tonight. So
You like the Toronto hustle?
I like the Toronto hustle. Yeah. I'm more of a I like the city. I like the city vibe. I like how everyone's up and going. I think that's kind of how I am too. I'm up in the morning, ready to go. Okay. I like that lifestyle a little bit better. So that's probably why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, for anybody who's watching who doesn't know what VIBN Vintage is, maybe you can give me an overview of what your business is, man.
Yeah, so it's an online retail vintage clothing retail store. So we sell pieces from the 70s all the way to early 2000s. And yeah, it's an online only store right now, but we're looking to branch off and have some brick and mortar retail stores.
Okay,
so,
nice.
But yeah, that's what it is. It's strictly it's more e-commerce right now. But yeah, so that's
you've been doing it for almost 4 years, you said?
Yeah, so I started in 2019, literally in January. So it's gonna be 4 years in January. So a month from, not even a month from now.
I ask people this all the time, but how did COVID affect your business? Because you started in January 19.
Yeah.
So you got a year under your belt, and then COVID boom, and then it's I think e-commerce blew up then. But how did it go for you?
Honestly, it was a blessing in disguise. So I was in university around that time. So it was really nice because I was just working outside of my house. So I would be so I went to Waterloo. So Waterloo to Toronto was an hour commute, and going to Waterloo, coming back, it was just so much of a hassle. And when that happened, I was actually really excited because I'm now I get to be home, which is where I can work and grow my business, right? So it was a blessing in disguise. Also, in COVID, a lot of people had a lot of disposable income. No one was going out. No one was flying anywhere. Yeah. What are people going to do, right? And that's when e-commerce blew up, not just my business. So many businesses saw their revenue quadrupling almost, if not more, right? Yeah. So I think it was a blessing for people that had an online business or were running one or just started one. I know people that did crazy numbers, and for our business, it helped a lot.
For sure.
We tripled, if not quadrupled, our revenue as well.
Wow. So. Just right in the beginning of COVID.
Well, yeah, slowly, because I think everyone was a little confused, and when everyone kind of once it was cemented that no one is leaving, everyone's at home for an X amount of time, I think people that's when we saw our boost. And so it took a couple months for sure. It took a couple months. Yeah. It took a couple months for our for the business to see that growth, but it was amazing.
Crazy.
COVID helped so much.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, for my industry too, real estate boomed insane for COVID.
Yeah.
But I want to get into so your background, you didn't just start with this business. You said before off camera, you did a few other things before. So let's get into that. How you got into selling vintage clothing? You
know what's crazy? Okay, so when I started, I started back in grade 9, and I just started playing this. I used to play this video game, and you can just sell stuff in real life,
like RuneScape or something.
Yeah.
Actually,
literally RuneScape.
Okay.
So I would play that a lot. I was addicted, right? And I would sell the gold. I don't. This is not even allowed, I think. But I would sell the stuff on there for real. It would just be even I would just they had this thing called the Grand Exchange, and you would see the stock market for every item going up and down. And then what I would do is I would buy something, hold it, and sell it, and I would be oh my god, I just made 1,000 GP, whatever it was, right? And then just doing that again, and I was just so addicted to that rather than actually playing the game. I actually like selling stuff and buying things for lower and selling for higher, right? Just flipping stuff. And then that kind of I just stopped playing that game in grade 10 just to focus on school. And then that's when I started selling like hype exclusive stuff. So like Fear of God, Supreme, Bape, all of this.
You would sell that.
I would sell it. Like,
So you'd be the guy like with bots and buying
oh
stuff.
yeah,
online.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was that guy. I was that guy.
You were also the guy selling PS5s.
No.
Just kidding.
So when Vibin came in the picture, I was just focused on Vibin.
Okay.
Yeah. But okay. So at that time, I knew nothing about vintage clothing. Like I knew nothing about vintage clothing. So I was just selling those things. Like it was really good. It was just that
So
like
was it like just on like Gigi or something or Facebook?
literally to like people in my high school. I think.
okay.
Yeah, like people in my high school wanted some stuff, so I'd be like, okay, like I have this. I just got this. Got these pair like of kicks that I just like you know
Jordans,
like Supreme
Yeezys.
like whatever, huh? Yeezys?
Yeezys?
Yeah, Yeezys, like stuff, whatever it was, like I was just selling it. Like it was just like stuff like that.
Whatever StockX is selling, I'm selling.
Yeah, I don't think StockX was like up that time. Like
Okay.
I don't even think they were a thing. Like
Yeah. Okay.
and then I think when I got to like grade 12, that's when StockX like kind of took over. But grade
Yeah.
11, like I was just selling these things. Grade 12, selling it, made a decent amount of money from there. And then university started, and then in university, I couldn't even sell anything. Like people
you were
did
too
not.
busy or what?
No. Like it wasn't even about like me being busy. Like no one wanted to spend that much money. No one wanted to buy $100 t-shirt to go out. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And which is fair. I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
Right? So then I was like, okay, like people were like, oh, like is it like they wanted to look good for cheap, right? Which is
Yeah.
fair because like you have so many other expenses in university, like textbooks, food, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like I heard about like vintage booming, like that market just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I started looking at bigger accounts like in the UK and Australia. I'm like, these guys are killing it. And like this market hasn't even matured in like North America, like at least at that time. And then I was like, you know what? Like I have a couple $100 sitting in my bank account. Let me just like splurge and buy whatever an X amount like in bulk and like just see what happens. And that's kind of when I started, and I had a positive reception when I started, and ever since then I just like kind of went deep and just like started growing Vibin.
Where were you selling mostly when you started? On IG or like in person?
Yeah, like in person, IG, like Etsy, all these marketplaces. Like I tried eBay for a little bit, Grail, Depop, like
Okay.
apps
Is
like
Grailed as nice? I've bought a few things on Grailed.
Yeah,
I never know if it's fake or not, but anyways.
Oh,
I bought it.
I think now they have like an authentication system, but like Grailed was nice. Grailed was nice. Even when I was selling a Supreme and stuff, like that's where
Yeah.
I built my rep on Grailed. And I like people were buying off there, and it was pretty easy. Not a lot of like haggling on prices, so it was like pretty nice. It was like peaceful at the time. But I think like now like a lot of people try like lowballing you. It's not that fun. Etsy was really good. Etsy was one of the best like marketplaces after, because nobody complained about the prices, like barely anyone.
Okay, so if you were gonna start again right now, would you like just straight to your own website, or are you gonna go like Etsy kind of stuff like that?
I probably do Etsy. It's like more of a fail proof like way of
there's
getting.
not as much startup fees.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're on a marketplace, like there's some like transaction fees and like listing fees, but it's like close to nothing. So it's like at that point, that's probably the best way to start. And then like from there, you can segue into like a website or like look at other resources that work for you. But I think marketplaces in general are good. Etsy was like the best for my business.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is the hot topic, because I know a lot of people like want to start an online business, like drop shipping or any clothing company or anything on Etsy, like crafts and stuff like that. So it's like, but when you launch your site though, it's like, how do you just gain traction like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
when I
when you start, like, how do you start?
Honestly,
Like
like
you got the stuff now, and then
yeah. On Instagram, so this is after like post marketplace. Like I have my own website now, and I want to grow it. Is that what you're?
yeah.
So basically, like I think when I made my website, I had a couple thousand followers already. So it was like, it was easy to like kind of redirect that traffic from like all these places to like my website. So just like promoting on stories, asking my friends to put it on their story. But essentially, what it came down to was ads. Like
You gotta run some ads.
have to run ads, right? It's like you're basically buying data. Like in the beginning, you're buying data. Like like it's called a pixel, like your Facebook, Instagram, like pixel. And you have to make sure it matures. And the only way it can mature is if you spend money, because you're essentially buying that like data.
So so you'll target, for example, like 18 to 35-year-old, for example, guys that live in Canada that love sports.
Yeah.
And then how do you save that data with your ads? that what
Yeah,
you say?
yeah. So basically that like you don't save it. You're buying. So basically, when you spend money on ads, you're basically buying data, right? Like that's what you're doing. So your pixel picks up on like who's purchasing, like what, like was it a guy, was it a girl, like who's going on your website, like what's the age group, right? What's your demographic, and then based off of that, when you can run like when you get even more like, and then you're spending a lot more money. When you get to that point, you can even go even like you can narrow down so much to be like in the last 15 days, the people who visited my website, like they're the only people like seeing this ad. So because
Yes, dude, that's crazy.
yeah, it's called like retargeting.
Yes, yeah. Because your phone, like, you'll talk about like whatever, and then you'll like get an ad on your phone, and it's like it's insane.
It's insane. A lot of big companies do this, right? Because like
Yeah.
their ad spend, like they could have like a crazy budget of like maybe like let's just say $1,000 a day. They're getting so much data. Like even if you're not making that many sales, like initially you won't, right? Because people are still like understanding what your product is. I feel like in the beginning you shouldn't be focusing on like narrowing down. You should have like a crazy wide, like broad audience that you're like marketing to, and then based off of whatever data you collect from there, like whatever the pixel picks up on, then you like go even like obviously there's more like softwares like Google Analytics, like all of these softwares that you can actually use and kind of get more data on who's buying what. And then after that, you just like narrow down and it's like get super niche, super like I don't know. Yeah. So you just like you start getting you narrow down a lot and then you just retarget.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the point that you were like, yeah, vintages, this is for me. Like this is what I want to do.
So like okay, so back to the point where like I was selling Supreme, Bape, and all of this. Like by the time I would sell one T-shirt, I can sell like 6 of these, like 5, 6 of these at least, right? And then the like margins were better, right? But then more than that, like it was actually fun because it's like everything's unique. It's almost like a scavenger hunt. Like when you get your like box of vintage,
you sell
like,
mystery boxes.
yeah, right. So, but like when I would buy stuff, like sometimes I wouldn't even to this day, like I buy so much, like I don't know what's coming in. I just know the categories. So it's so fun when you
What
just
are the categories?
So like sweatshirts, right? Like windbreakers, T-shirts, like trousers, jeans, whatever. Hats, and you like those are the categories I know. So my suppliers know what I want, right? Like the type of things, but like obviously you're not gonna be like okay 1, 2 because there's like you buy like 5,000 pieces at once, 10,000 pieces at once. So then it's almost like almost like a mystery box for me. Like I open it, I'm like oh my god, like this is so like I got this Nike like whatever, right? And then yeah, so it's like that's why I was like this is so fun. Like it's like it was almost like a passion. Like I didn't even focus on the money aspect. Like initially it was always like okay, well this is better than that. But then after it was so fun. Like I just love the process. But yeah.
Of like going through and finding, you're right. It's kind of you're digging for treasure.
Yeah, it's like you're a kid again, right? Like you're just like, oh my god, like you just got this crazy Nike piece or like crazy vintage Raptors like windbreaker, whatever.
Okay, so this is a thing, like a niche market.
Yeah.
People actually collect vintage pieces.
Yeah. There's
Explain like what these like grails, like what's going on, like.
Yeah, like grails are just like pieces that are like rare and they're worth a lot. Like, but everyone has their own grail. Like for example, like my grail could be like this Raptors item that's like $200, but your grail could be like this signed Michael Jordan jersey that's $10,000. It's more than the value. It's like what you want, but it's most of the time it's like very exclusive, limited edition, like something you want, right?
Okay.
So like. Yeah, like
what's this guy here?
That's a 3D emblem, like 1987, I believe, Harley Davidson T-shirt. So it's pretty crazy. Those pieces, like 3D emblems, can like go all the way up to like $500. Like they're so rare, and they were produced in like a short amount of time. So whatever was produced with that 3D emblem, like symbol,
this guy right here.
Yeah, that guy right there. They like are crazy high in like the value. So this one, I think that one goes for like 300 something. Just that
Really,
T-shirt,
yeah?
Well, like regular Harley Davidson T-shirts can go from like 40 to like 60. I'd say 60 at most. But so like the 3D, that guy right there, the 3D emblem, like can go for like 300.
Really?
No, yeah, easily, no doubt.
And like people, like what's the fit with this? Like you like ripped jeans, black jeans, or something
Yeah,
like that?
like black jeans, like even blue jeans. Like I feel like everything's going a little backwards now. I don't know if you've seen, but like bell bottoms are back, like flare jeans are back, right?
Yeah.
Like even like looser, like the skinny stuff is like kind of going out the window now. Like it's more like cargos, like more like right?
Sweats.
Sweats, right? So like with that you can pair it with like a blue pair of jeans, like ripped jeans, like distressed, whatever. Like that's kind of the fit.
That's actually fire.
Yeah. Even like even though that's a men's, like I think an XL, like even like girls are buying that like a lot, and they're just like wearing like biker shorts or something like during summer, you know? So
What do you mostly sell to men, or is there a lot of chicks in here now? Like,
Honestly, it's like 60-40. So 60,
Really?
yeah, 60 like guys, 60% guys, and then 40% girls. So it's
Wow.
it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
wow, nice.
Yeah.
So how do you get your products? Like you said, you buy in like 5,000, 10,000 pieces at a time. Let me go back to the beginning because like it's cool now, but
Yeah.
it's more interesting to hear how you started, right? Like I think everybody is interested in that too.
Yeah, like so well how I started was I bought a box of like 20 pieces, I
So you
think.
buy from another retailer.
Yeah, but another retailer. I just bought in wholesale. I'm like, okay, look, like I got this amount of money and I just want like so a lot of retailers actually wholesale as well, including myself.
Yeah.
It just helps them get rid of product fast, and it helps people like me to like start selling at retail and get more inventory on my website. So when I bought that, it was like I had a couple $100s in my bank account. I'm like, here you go. And I got a box of like 30, 40 pieces from another retailer. He's actually a good friend of mine as well. But when I got those pieces, I just like, I kind of knew what I was buying because it wasn't like 10,000 pieces, right? Like to begin with.
Start smaller.
Yeah. So then I started putting up on my Instagram, and they actually did pretty well. Like it was like I started selling stuff, and I honestly like didn't think I would sell it because it was my first time getting to vintage too. So I didn't really know what was like what was vintage, you know? Like how do I tell this is 90s? How do I tell this is the 80s? Like you know, you look at the label, you look at the zipper, so many little things. So that was like pretty like honestly that time was actually really fun too. But now like after that I started buying in like more quantities because now like right now we're posting 60 new items every single day.
Yeah,
Like,
you drop every day.
Every day, right? So then it's like right now it's at 60. We're aiming for like 100 new items like very, very soon per day.
Yeah, because they're by size. It's a bit different than just like shopping at Zara because you can just buy the same shirt in any size you want.
Yeah.
So it's very specific. You photograph each piece.
Yeah. So I like I don't do this anymore. So like I have people for this, but before it was crazy. Like so I'll tell you the process. The process is you get the item, they're not washed, so you send it for a wash, right? Like that's the first thing I do. Like I get it, and I have a guy who comes in, does my laundry, and he takes like 300, 400 pounds of clothes like at once, and then he brings it back, and then like my employees, like my team would sort through it, and then they would see like what's worth even putting. Like sometimes there's things that are damaged to a point where like you can't sell them, so we would just put them aside, and then the ones we could sell, like we would start putting SKU numbers on them just to like make sure the inventory like is being managed well. And then from that point, we bring it to like our office and we steam it. And then after steaming it, we photograph all of them. Okay. And after photographing all of them, we measure all of them, like the length, width, or sorry, the pit to pit and length. And then for like top and then like we would put it on the racks depending on like what the SKU number is and where it belongs. But yeah.
Wow. So you got an office now.
Like it's like a studio.
Okay, nice.
Shop.
That's where you do all your work.
Yeah. So that's where
How many hours are you grinding a day?
Oh, it's a lot less than so now like that I have a team, it's a lot less, but I mean it definitely started off with pretty crazy hours. Like I think there were like at least a year when I started. There was a year where I was working like 12 to 16 hours a day.
Really?
Like with school. It was crazy. Wow. It was crazy. So but now we're at a point where like I can work a lot less than that, but I still like to like now I'm
hands-on.
Yeah, because now it's like I'm not doing anything hands-on anymore. I'm focusing just on marketing and creative like direction of like where I want my brand to go. But before this, it was like I was doing everything. Like I was steaming pictures, opening stuff, like sending it for wash. Like I was doing all this processes myself. So
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like so even to put like back then I would spend 16 hours and I would only be able to put like 20 items up. So it's like, and that was just me grinding everything, right? So now we were able to do like 50 because now I have a team, and then we're aiming for like 100 like very soon. But
like 2023, baby.
Yeah, 100%. 2023, early 2023. But yeah, like that's 16 hours, 12 to 16 hours.
Crazy.
Now it's a lot less. Like I said, like now it's like more like sitting down, but I love to still like get my hands dirty, like go back to the studio, like check what these guys are doing, like or you're taking a picture, like nice. I'll just like chill out there, like just so I don't lose that passion that I had, which is why I started.
That's very important.
Yeah,
I agree. So you said you wholesale. So what stops like your customers, your avid customers, to be like, I'll just buy wholesale? Or is that cool with you?
That's cool with me. I mean, honestly, you like probably don't want to buy wholesale. You don't know what you're getting in wholesale. It's like buying. But like you also, the minimum spend is $500. So no one, right? Like a customer won't just be like, all right, here, like $500, like give me my wholesale box, right? It'll just be like very random. It's just
Okay.
so it's like it's not that like that's why we have a mystery box option as well, which is like a lot less, and like it's like more catered to the individual. Whereas like wholesale is catered to like it doesn't matter if you're a guy buying it or a girl buying this. Like we're gonna put both genders. Like it doesn't matter, right? Like we're gonna put both different sizes. We're gonna like so it's not appealing to like a retailer or like sorry our customer, but it's more appealing to like a retailer.
Gotcha.
For example, yeah.
Gotcha.
But wholesale. So I'll get more into wholesale. The reason I kind of started wholesale was because with this business, like you want to make sure you have enough pieces online, but not so much where you can't handle it. And that's when it's a problem because like if you have too many pieces that aren't moving, then it's like a cash flow problem. Then it's like there's so many other problems that arise from there. So wholesale was more to like move pieces. Obviously like help other retailers as well that are getting to like it doesn't bother me because it's like it helps the industry grow. And it keeps like cash flow. Like that's probably one of the most important things right now. It's like cash flow. Yeah.
Keeping everything okay. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't want to buy wholesale either if I wanted specific pieces. I don't want a girl's shirt. Like,
yeah, exactly, right?
Okay, gotcha. So how did you learn all this like e-commerce stuff? Like, are you on Shopify?
I'm on Shopify, yeah.
Okay, how did you learn all this? Like just by trial and error, or like you had a mentor? Or?
Yeah, so I actually before I got into the business, I was like I dipped my toe in like drop shipping a little bit. And so I kind of learned like, okay, like how do you make a website? Like what are you supposed to look for? The analytical tools, like what's your email marketing software? Like what's the standard, like how are you supposed to scale a store, right? Like things like that, like how to work with Shopify. So just like a basic amount. And then obviously like when I got into it, it's kind of like trial and error and like playing around with it till you understand what you want to do. Or what you're doing. I think like also looking at YouTube videos like of other drop shippers and how they like scale their stores and like what words are they writing, like what keywords, what analytical, because there's so many analytics, like what do you even look at, right? There's like so many numbers. So it's like looking at like what's important for your brand, like how is this analytic, like how is this specific number, like what are you supposed to do with this number, right? And things like that, like how are you supposed to set your shipping threshold, like what are you supposed to do in those cases? So there's like formulas for that and like recommended paths and like tips and tricks and stuff. So you have to look at like YouTube videos. There's a lot of hours of grinding, like because not only was I like figuring out how to work a Shopify store, I was also figuring out like how to get good vintage clothing, like the inventory part, and like learning more about like how to identify if something's vintage. So it's like so there's just like a lot of
there's so much groundwork to it. Yeah,
so much.
Like I can't imagine the amount of hours you spent like online, just like researching stuff. Like you probably I guess meet other retailers and you connect with them too.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, yeah. So you gotta have like 52K on VIBN.
Yeah.
What are the DMs like? Just like people asking for discounts.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes I would get like some people's being like, how many times do I have to message you for like a free denim jacket or something like that? Like, oh, can I get for Christmas? Like, can I get a free like windbreaker? Like my DMs are crazy. So you just have to sort through them and see like what do you actually reply to?
Do you have like somebody that does that or?
No, so I actually take over that for now. Like I'm doing that like because a lot of my team does like all the groundwork. Like, right. So I kind of just like it's like I guess like support emails and stuff gets a little hectic. So I'm like gonna outsource that soon. But right now like I'm looking at all of that.
Like where's my order?
Yeah, like I like late, yeah. So. But now I'm getting so much of that where I'm like considering like giving it to someone else. So
okay. So people ask for free shit. But do they like ask for like fashion advice or like can I be an ambassador?
Oh yeah, I get that. I get like influencers.
Do you guys do that?
Well, not ambassadors, but
influencers.
We've worked with influencers before. Yeah, like is this like the problem is with the vintage industry? Like so when we worked with influencers before when I started, a lot of these influencers would wear like let's just say like a Champion sweatshirt, like a 90s Champion sweatshirt, and then everyone would be like, I want that sweatshirt. But the problem is there's only one of that. There's only one of that sweatshirt. Now she has it or he has it, right? Like the influencer. And like now it's like, okay, we don't have that. So then it wasn't as effective with a business like this. But it's always good to like, so like for example, like the mystery boxes are doing well with influencers. We worked with like a few Toronto influencers and creatives and they've been like amazing. So like the mystery boxes.
It's entertaining watching them open it. Like just like the Pokemon cards.
Yeah, exactly. So it has to be like UGC like content, like user generated.
Okay.
And like yeah, like those ones like they go crazy. They do really well with like mystery boxes. So it's for any business though, like influencers is so like it's so important, especially with like TikTok and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like all video content now.
As much as ads. Like you gotta if you're gonna start your online business, you gotta do ads and influencers.
I think influencers is really important. Like you just have to know who your influencer is. There's like micro influencers, like I would personally say like micro, or it's like a lot more effective when you're starting up
instead of like the guy who's like
Yeah.
got like 3 million.
3 million, yeah, because like a lot of those 3 million, like okay, from the 3 million, there's so many inactive like followers too,
Yeah.
right?
You gotta
Whereas-
look at their engagement
Yeah.
instead of like really followers. It doesn't-
Exactly. It
Yeah.
literally is that. Like I feel like a lot, like I worked with an influencer who had, so just like I'm not gonna name anyone, but I worked with an influencer who had like 10K followers, and another one who had she had like 60 or 70K, and the 10K followers did so much better for us
And
because
you
like
track that
I tracked that. So those
with a code.
with a code, right? Like I would give them a link and be like, oh, this is the link. When you click on it, I know who clicked on that link versus this link, and like that link like got so many more clicks just because like the 10K followers were so interested in her content.
It's like genuinely
Is like yeah, it's more genuine.
genuine followers instead of
more
like
organic.
bot and like
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
You can tell, eh?
You can
Like,
tell, yeah.
bot followers.
Yeah. Like if someone has like 30, like especially an influencer, like a business is different because a business like engagement might not be that high, but
Yeah.
an influencer is like will like most likely should be high. Like you know what I mean? If they're posting something that's engaging.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So you look at that.
All right, let's take like a 2-second break and then get more into like the business, man. Like it's so interesting for me because, like I said, I've always wanted to like. I used to work in the government before I went full time in real estate. I always wanted a little side hustle, and real estate was my side hustle. But I wanted like another side hustle, which is like a clothing store or just like some online store.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like my dad has started a couple, but like it's so interesting to hear like somebody who's like successful from doing it. Your point of view. So yeah, let's get more into it in a minute, man. All right, so welcome back. Thanks again for coming on the podcast, man. It's been so informative and just fun, man, chatting with you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. I gotta preface this by saying, thanks for bringing this. I do like Aaron Rodgers. I do like the Packers a bit, but my allegiance really does lie with the Eagles, which are doing really. Yeah. You have a
I
team?
mean, my favorite team. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
My favorite team. I like the Chiefs. I like Mahomes.
You do,
He's
eh?
fire.
Okay, he's fire.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have Hill anymore, but I mean, they should be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Coming to the playoffs.
I mean, the quarterback. I had him on fantasy league.
Okay, nice.
A couple of years ago when he started. Guy's
Yeah,
crazy.
he is
He's-
crazy.
yeah.
I had him like a couple years ago too.
Yeah.
You're a big Raptors fan then, right?
I love the Raptors. Yeah, but like I'm not watching them as much this season, but yeah, I've been a big like Raptors fan, big basketball fan in general.
So you're still a Raptors guy though? Or are you saying like you're different?
I'm like, man, right now I haven't been seeing it much, but I want to say like I'm more
Let me guess. Ja.
yeah, Ja Morant. This guy's crazy.
Everyone loves Ja Morant.
Ja's
Like,
just
he's
crazy. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dunks. This guy's is not human.
So yeah, let me talk to you about like your team, what your team does, because you said you have a few people now, and it's really expanded and grown. So maybe you can give me like what kind of team you have, what do they do for you and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I have a team of 6 right now. 2 of them are in house. So they do all my groundwork. So they do like they're amazing employees. I have someone that's been working for a year, another one that's been working for about 4 months now. They're both amazing. Sometimes they work harder than I do, so I get inspired by them. But they basically do all like the stuff where it's like steaming, taking pictures, packing orders, creating labels, figuring out what to put online and what not to put online. So they do all of that. It's amazing. You know what's crazy though? If 2 years, like having employees is crazy. It's so like makes the process so much easier. But if it's crazy. I'm taking it in right now. 2 years ago, if you told me like you're gonna have an employee, I would have laughed. I would have been like, no way.
You wouldn't have believed it.
I wouldn't have believed it. So it's crazy. It's crazy like how things can change. But yeah, they do all of that. Take a lot of my. I still love doing that though. So sometimes I would just go and chill there and just be like at the studio and just be like, okay, like what are you guys doing? Like let me just see what came in like today, whatever. Just so I have that part of me because I don't want to lose my passion. So they're the in-house team. So they do all of that. Sometimes they help me take pictures for my stories on Instagram. Okay. So just like stuff like that.
But you manage the VIBN social media accounts?
Yes. Okay, so
nice.
I manage all of them. I do all the creative direction for VIBN. So I'm doing that. But eventually, like social media, I'm gonna outsource eventually. Yeah, that's in the works right now. But And then I have a
The
team.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a team of like overseas employees, and so there's 3 of them. 2 of them. So one of them actually helps me like repost some items when I need to repost it. It's a very time consuming task, but it helps like refresh the website.
Yeah.
Because like if you come in one day and you want to check it out, like let's say you come on my website on Wednesday and you're like, okay, let me see it again on Thursday. You want to make sure you have like a fresh set of pieces you can see.
So people literally do that. They come every day to see what you have new.
Yeah, because like our business, like my business is a drop model business. So we drop 30 pieces, like, or 60 pieces every day. So it's like, there's always something new to see every day. Right.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So like, but even then, like I repost some old pieces that people might have missed because they're still fire pieces. And sometimes they just like, don't look at it because it's so deep, like down.
Okay.
Cause there's like, I think there's like 4,000 pieces on the website, something like that. So you're not going to go through every single one. Right.
So they're just stacked up in your studio waiting to be bought. And then like here you go, boom, we're going to ship it.
Essentially, yeah.
That's a lot of pieces.
It's a lot of pieces. There's like 5,000 online, 4,000 something online right now, and it's gonna get crazier because we're gonna move to like 100 pieces a day very soon. So it's about to get crazy. It's about to get like
wow.
Yeah. But so one of the girls, she does that. The other one, she does all my uploading. So Shopify uploads. Takes a while. So she does all the uploading, does all the tags, variants, whatever is required for that product. And then my third one, she does all my descriptions. She's actually from Canada. She does all my descriptions. And like if like let's just say a mystery box order comes in, she like curates it with like the best pieces, sends it over to like the in-house team, and the in-house team packs it, and then it's ready to be shipped out.
And this is all automated. You're not like micromanaging everything.
No, I'm not micromanaging anything. Yeah, because like basically what I did, like, and I think this goes for any business, like, is it's so important to build out the processes and write every single step down on like Google Sheets or something, or Google Documents or something, whatever, right? And just write every single process down. And then when it comes down to like delegating processes or like hiring someone, it's the process like 10 times easier because you built out that process already.
Yeah.
So now you just hand over a sheet and go like, this is what it is. These are all the questions you could have. These are all the answers. If anything comes up, you can always ask me, right? But I try to do like feedback sessions every week. So like, like,
what
and
that?
It's just like, oh, like what did you accomplish this week? Sometimes it's hard to like know what everyone's doing. So I have like a software called Trello.
Okay.
That I use.
I feel like I heard of that, but I don't know.
It's like a project management software.
Nice.
So it just like helps. Like I just write everyone's name and like what they have to do, and then they just drag it into done when they're done. And then I just have like an idea of what everyone's doing. But basically, like sometimes it's like hard to see like if there's a sale going on. Like I'm busy as like hell. Like I have no time. So I'm not even looking at what anyone's doing, and I just like go for the best.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the week though, like on Friday, like we try to have I'm trying to implement this even more and more, but try to have like feedback where like they give me feedback as well, like seeing like what I did well and what I didn't do well, because it helps me as like a founder or a business owner. And then I give them like positive feedback as well, and along with like stuff they could work on. So it just helps everyone stay connected. It helps everyone know what they're doing. But yeah, so it's a team of 6, including me right now. And then we're looking to grow.
Nice. Yeah. And did you say it's Feedback Fridays?
Yeah.
That's actually nice. Instead of Taco Tuesday, Feedback Fridays.
Feedback Fridays. I don't know if it's as fun as Taco Tuesday, but.
So do you think like vintage has always been around in terms of like being a style and a niche, or has it just like recently popped off in the last few years?
So vintage has always been around, but vintage is basically like, in my opinion, anything that's like early 2000s and below. So it doesn't have to be like, so what I sell is more like streetwear stuff that like the vintage Nike you can see there, or the Bulls stuff or the Raptor stuff, right? It's all like 90s stuff. So like
Fat Farm. Do you know Fat Farm?
I've heard of them.
You're 23.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fat
Farm.
Echo?
Yes, Echo. Yes.
That's not vintage yet, right?
No. I know Fat Farm. Now I remember. Yeah. There's Rockaware, right? Rockaware. There's like
Is that vintage yet? Or
yeah, it is. It's early 2000s.
I mean, that's a different vibe though.
It is a different vibe. Yeah. But I sell that. I sell that. I sell FUBU. I sell all of that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I sell that when it comes in. It doesn't come in as often though, because like I said, like I kind of tell my suppliers what I need, and it's not in that list. So sometimes it like slides through the cracks, and like it comes in, and we just sell them there.
Yeah. So it's always been there. in terms of vintage, meaning like it's always been sought after.
Yeah.
People buy vintage.
Like a lot. It's just so many like different types of vintage shops as well. There's people that sell like true vintage stuff, like real like Levi stuff and like jean stuff. We don't really focus on that. We focus more on the streetwear aspect of it. But we're looking to branch out and get into that as well. So
okay,
yeah,
let's get into the brick and mortar. You started from the beginning saying that like maybe you want to branch out to that.
Yeah,
tell me what you can.
Yeah, so this is like the first time I'm making an announcement, and it's going to be on this podcast. We are opening a retail store very soon, in the first quarter of 2023. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be huge. But it's so important to open a retail store for like what I'm in. Even though like I feel like right now a lot of retail stores are looked down upon just because like a lot of retail stores are actually closing. But I feel like for streetwear and vintage, it's such a, like there's so many people looking for that. And a lot of people like trying on the clothes before they buy it. And it's going to be insane. So we're going to open, it's going to be crazy. We're going to we're opening like in a couple months. So it's going to be pretty crazy. Yeah.
Wow. How long has this process been in the works for?
Not too long. Not too long. Yeah. Eh? Like everything just happened and I'm like, this makes sense. Let's do it. It's been like a month and a half.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like, it's just been a lot of calculations, a lot of budgeting. A lot of calls being made, but it's just being finalized right now. So I can't give too much information about like the location, but it's going to be in the GTA area.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So you're going to run you're going to do all your business there? Meaning like all your warehousing and stuff like that there?
No.
No,
the warehousing is staying. So the online component of the business is going to stay the way it's running.
Okay.
Right. And then the retail is going to be separate. Yeah. Okay. But they're like everything's, like the things you can find in store are some things you can find online. So it's still going to be connected in that sense, but it's just going to be like another component. Like, but
there's still going to be unique pieces. You're not going to have 100 of the same shirt.
No. But talking about that, I want to get into something else. So it's like we're working on like a vintage or VIBN line, like a clothing line.
Yeah. And
like obviously we want to stay like connected and aligned with the brand ethos, which is sustainability. So we're going to aim for like working with sustainable fabrics only, so like fabrics that are like environmentally like friendly, and craft and create like clothing lines out of that. And then we're also working with we're gonna work with a couple brands as well to make that happen. Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna have your own brand.
Yes, as well, but it's still gonna be in the brand ethos. Like it's still gonna be sustainable fabrics and everything. But yeah, like we're working on a line. It's gonna be pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh wow, so that's gonna be at your retail store too, and online.
Yeah.
So both.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Like once you get that open, I'll definitely check that out because I do come to the GTA once in a while. I told you my parents live in Toronto, so they're in Markham.
Yeah, come check it out. It's gonna be close. Okay, well, but Markham's a good close area. It's still in the GTA, right? Like it's close.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Close. Yeah,
that's all I need to know.
Yeah,
for now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think? Like, creating content online right now is pretty big, right? Especially video content.
Yeah.
How much do you think that like drives the business?
A lot. So it's actually pretty crazy. So last year we made this TikTok. It's like this mystery box TikTok, and it blew up. Like
how blow up?
Like so, I went to sleep with like 1,000 views, and I was pretty amped about 1,000 views. I was so excited.
Yeah,
I was like, this is amazing, right? 1,000 views. I go to sleep, wake up, 10,000 views. I'm like, this is insane. Like 10,000 views, right? I was already celebrating. A couple of days go by, and it's sort of chilling around 10,000, and then it just pops off to like 100,000, 200,000. We're sitting at like 600,000 something, and our sales boomed that month. Like it was crazy. Like I had to stop the sales for a little bit on like
the sales.
I had to stop people from I had to mark everything as sold out because we couldn't keep up with the demand for those 2 months. Because it was like I had to hire people part-time just to help pack orders. Like my friends or my friends.
You would have been doing it 24/7.
Yeah, at that time. This was like
when you were still in school.
Early last summer.
Okay.
So I was still in school, but it was like COVID.
Okay.
But even then, like it was just like insane. There was like in one day we'd have like 30 mystery box orders or more, like 50, 60. Like it's like, how are you even curating this? I was scared that I'm gonna run out of pieces at one point. So I think video content for any business is so important, especially right now, and that goes for like IG Reels, TikTok, and things like that. It like helps a lot.
What was the reel? I haven't seen it.
Oh, like the mystery box one? Oh, so it was a TikTok. It was a TikTok.
Okay, so TikTok. Yeah. What happened? Like, give me a summary.
So, like, I still remember the date. It was October 1st of 2020.
Really special day.
Yeah, 2021, October 1st, and I just like posted it at night, not expecting anything. And I I mean, like that day, nothing happened. I woke up.
No, what was the real though? Like, what was it? Like,
It was a mystery box.
You just opening a box?
Yeah, so it was like,
with a bunch of clothes.
It was like, why are people obsessed with their mystery box? That's what it was.
Oh, nice.
So I had that little catch. So people were like, oh, well, like, what is the guy talking about? And they watched, like, they obviously watched. They stuck around to see why are people obsessed, right? People weren't really obsessed around that time. Around that time, so we opened it and it was like Nike, whatever, and like. People were like, "Oh my god, where can I get one?" That's how it started, right? So we had a couple of comments coming in, and we were like, "Oh yeah, this is amazing," right? And then around that time, like a couple days go by, and it's like shooting up like 100,000 views, 200,000 views, 600,000 views, and I'm like, "This is insane." And then like within 2 to 3 days, like within like a 1 week span, I had to be like, due to the influx of orders, like we cannot like. Sorry for the inconvenience. We cannot take more orders or whatever. We had to like stop it because like it was like a wall in my house, just like clothes, like boxes going all the way up to the ceiling. Like it was like crazy, and there was like rows of it. Like I was just like, my parents were like, I still have pictures of it. My parents were like, what is going on? Like what just happened? So it was amazing. It was amazing though.
Do your parents get what you're doing?
Like honestly, initially no. They're like, so coming from my background in India, so they don't see, like, they don't really understand. Well, now they do, but before they didn't really understand what vintage clothing was. Yeah. And even to the day, they're like, it's just used clothing. You know what I mean? Like looking down on it. But initially they were like, oh, like what is going on? Like you're selling used clothing. Like why don't you sell new clothing, right? Yeah. Because there's like a stigma back home where it's like used clothing is worn by like poor people, right? Yeah. Because they can't afford new clothing. So they didn't really understand, but like, it's like, okay, I'm not just selling anything, right? Like, it's like, I'm sorting through it. It's very specific stuff that people are looking after, or things that are sought after. And then, so my mom's been there from the start. She's like, okay, I don't know what you're doing, but I'll support it, right? Yeah. My dad was like, what is going on here? Like, let me give it some time. I want to see what's actually going on. Like, I would catch him just looking at my Instagram page sometimes, just being like, what is this? Like, just on his own time.
They look, like, but like, they pretend like they're not looking.
Yeah, they're just like, whatever, right? But then they're like, like, what's going on here, right? Mm-hmm. And then obviously once there was some motion, they were like, we were getting some like orders. I think like 2 years ago, he's like, okay, well, you know what? Like, fine, whatever. Like, I'll support it. So now they're both on the same boat. I don't know if they completely understand it like thoroughly, but they know it's something that works. So they know you're
building a legitimate business.
Yeah, but shout out to my parents though; they help me a lot. They help me a lot now. Like especially with like the retail store we just talked about. Like they're helping me a lot. So it's like it's pretty important to have that support. But initially, it definitely wasn't there, and I don't blame them because like I feel like if I was from there too, I would probably have the same like point of view on all of this stuff, right? And I don't expect them to get it, but I'm happy they do now. So
you said your mom was packing orders for you, eh?
Oh yeah, initially, like I would be in school, so I'd be like, Mom, like we have to ship this out. Someone just paid for like extra fast shipping, like expedited shipping. She'd be like, okay, fine, she'll pack it, right? Not anymore. I tried to tell my mom not to like get involved because like I was just like I don't want to see you keep like working, right? But initially she helped a lot. Like shout out to my mom, she helped me a lot initially.
Shout out to moms, but I got a question because like I'm in real estate, so like I still get excited when I get a new client like shoot me a message say like, hey, I'm looking to buy a rent or sell a house. Mm-hmm. Do you still get that excitement when you get an order? Because I know in the beginning, it's like one order, let's say one order a day, whatever, right? It's like, oh my god, there's an order, right? Like, do you still get that excitement?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of sad. I used to get that excitement before. It's still like exciting, but now I feel like, see, the problem is like, okay, I'll get into something a little more deep, but the problem is like with a lot of ambition, you got to make sure it doesn't strip you of your current blessings. Like you can't like your ambition. Like even for me, like I'm so like focused on moving my goalpost. We're like, oh, like 5K a month. Okay, let's push it to 10, 20, 30. Like it never stops, right? 50, like 100. What's next, right? Per month. So it's like you have to like wait, like take a step back and kind of be like, oh wow, like you have that gratitude, right? Yeah. And be like, wow, like I
struggle with that too, man.
Yeah, and like I'm just like on the next like. Okay, like, oh, we just did this. Okay, cool. Now what's the next thing, right? So it's like it's important to like, because 2 years ago, like I just said, right? 2 years ago, if you were to ask me like you're gonna be making X amount of money and you're gonna have an X amount of employees, I would have been laughing and be like, no way. Like no one around me really believes it. So like, you know what I mean? I don't know if I believe it completely, right? Yeah. So but getting back to that point, it does still excite me, but I feel like not as much as before because now it's like, okay, well, I have to make an X amount of money. Once I get to that money, like or revenue, whatever sales per day, now I'm happy with every order. You know what I mean? So it's like, for example, like
It's a bit different.
It's a bit different. Like when you have like, so now it's like, okay, it's a little more serious because like now there's employees involved. Now there's like things you have to pay off and serious like expenses, right? So it's like now you're like, okay, well, every order is exciting, but it's like, okay, this is one order. Like let's wait for 4 orders to come in before I start getting excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those things where it's kind of sad. It's a sad reality, but like once you're scaling, like it's just like your happiness to those things like do go down, but it's so important to like stay connected and be like, okay, well, whoa, like I just got 3 orders, but like I would be so happy when I got 1 order like 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the same thing with me. Like
Yeah.
I used to sell like 5 houses a year.
Oh,
so
wow.
like that's not much.
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, no. Because I'm selling like 70, 80 a year now.
No, okay.
So like 5 houses a year. I was happier selling 5 houses a year
Yeah.
than I am selling like 70 houses a year.
That's crazy.
It's just because like that one meant so much to me now.
Yeah.
Now like you get many orders a day.
Mhm.
So for me it's like same thing, right? It's like I just want to meet that certain expectation, and it's toxic because
Yeah.
it's like you as human beings you want to keep striving for more. You're never really satisfied. You know, you make 10K a month, you want to make 20 now. Exactly. So it's like, you know, yeah. Part of me is like, I wish I was back at that time because I was actually probably a little bit happier.
Yeah. Honestly,
Less stress, you know.
Same.
Like
Yeah.
it's life though.
Yeah, it's like even before, like I told you, I think I was the happiest when I touched my first 5K a month. I was like jumping, like I was like, yeah, let's go, like 5K a month. Like I'm still in school, like no one's really doing that right now, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I was so excited, and then once like things get serious, like you're just like, oh, 5K, like
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Because
Like,
now you have employees.
Yeah.
You get overhead. And
yeah,
yeah.
like and then it's like
It's
new
different.
equipment, and then it's like, you know, like ads, and there's so many other
Yeah.
expenses where it's like, if you don't make an X amount, you're not gonna be happy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you don't.
Yeah.
No one wants to be like, yeah, it's so hard to do that, but like it's so important to take some time and to be like and start celebrating your. I struggled with this until this year actually. Like, I wouldn't celebrate my like
Your
little
wins.
wins, you know, like my little
Okay.
milestones, but like I was so celebrate like, oh, I just hit like an X amount of followers a month. Like now I'm happy, but like. Even now, like, you know, like the 50K, like everyone's like, oh my God, 50K. I'm like, oh yeah, 50K. Like
how
Why-
has that jumped? Like meaning like were you at like 30K like at the beginning of this year or
Yeah.
was it just like
I was at
Roughly.
30. I was 30K like sometime last year, I think.
Okay.
Last year. I think last year, like near the end of summer, I think.
Okay.
I was at 30K and I was like really excited. And I hit 50 and the excitement wasn't there. I don't know, like it was crazy. So
that is crazy.
Yeah,
Then you
but-
need to hit 100 for you to be really excited. But when you get there, you want 200.
200, 250, right? So it's like never stops. So like, yeah, it's kind of like gets into like greed and stuff like that. There's no end to that. You know
There's
what I mean?
no end to it.
There's
It's,
no
no,
end
it's
to
just no, and I think it's healthy to a certain extent, right? Like you as an entrepreneur, you want to gain more, right? And
Yeah.
and grow. It's not really a negative thing in my opinion. Like it's half and half, let's say.
It's half and half. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I think it's like also like the stress that comes with it keeps you going, in my opinion.
yeah.
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 So.
Well, that's pretty much it for me, man. Like, shout out to you for like creating this business. Like, you're killing it, man.
Thank you.
Anybody who sees you online, they like this store is fucking legit, man.
Yeah.
And this retail store that's about to come,
Yeah.
like,
It's about to be crazy.
it's crazy, eh?
It's about to be crazy.
It's gonna be your new baby.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm working, like I want to make it like look so different from these regular like other retail stores. Like it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be
Okay,
amazing.
so you
yeah.
have this concept built up in your head.
Yeah,
already.
yeah. I have this concept built up. I just need to like get it rendered, all those stuffs, but all those type of things. But once that's done, it's gonna be crazy.
So are you gonna be working at the store? You think?
Yeah, initially for sure. Like I'm definitely gonna be there for the first like couple months, I think. And then once I see like what's going, I want to be there and kind of experience like every season,
Gotcha.
you know, at a retail store and kind of compare it. So
Well, yeah. Let me ask you: Do you switch seasons as well, like kind of like Supreme does? Meaning, like you'll sell more T-shirts now,
Yeah.
and then you sell more like jackets and hoodies and
Yeah.
You do that too?
Yeah, so like summer, we try to focus more on like t-shirts, windbreakers, things of that matter. Even like lightweight jackets, they do well.
Yeah.
But once it gets to like a colder season, but also like now that my customers are from like literally like worldwide, so like really
What's the most
depends.
random country that you've sold to? Like that you can think of?
Luxembourg, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like
wow.
out of nowhere. I think Luxembourg, but we get a lot of orders from like Czech Republic, or yeah, and then we get a lot of orders from like China.
Oh yeah.
We get a lot of orders from. I'm trying to remember a lot of orders from the UK, Germany, like these places, Ireland.
More so than the
Finland.
U.S. Like, what's
No,
your
no,
number
no.
one? U.S.
U.S. Yeah.
Okay.
I think U.S. and Canada kind of like go back and forth
Okay.
for me. But it's always been U.S. a little bit more.
Okay, gotcha.
Just like slightly more than Canada, and then it's been like Australia, UK, all those
Yeah.
countries. So yeah, so like as I was like the seasons thing, like in Australia, it's like when it's winter here, it's like summer there, right? Like,
Yeah.
these guys are like it's burning like scorching hot. So then those guys are like looking for t-shirts. But yeah, like since I sell more to like US and Canada, like I kind of just cater it like depending on
Yeah.
the season. Like if it's cold, then you're getting jackets, more
Okay.
more sweatshirts, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said that was the last question, but I have one more.
Yeah.
How effective do you think the drops are? Because in my opinion, it just feels exclusive,
Yeah.
and like you can't always get it. And if
Yeah.
you drop and you're not there, and somebody buys it, it's gone. You know, like,
Yeah.
does that really help you?
Yeah. So, so like we try to hype up every drop a little bit. So sometimes we do like theme drops,
Okay.
where it's like, okay,
What's that?
we're only gonna drop like track pants, right?
Okay.
Or like whatever. So a lot of people are looking for track pants. We send an email out, an SMS out, and we drop the track pants, and they're gone. Like in like not all of them, but like a lot of them are gone. So the drop model really helps. So you have to make sure you're hyping them up. For me, the drop model is more like I want to get more pieces on the website. So if someone's going through it, like they'll see new pieces every single time, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of where I like get all that from. And then opening the retail, it's gonna kind of like split. Like some pieces are gonna be in the retail store,
Gotcha.
some are gonna be like online. But
Do you notice a spike in like actual traffic when you drop?
Yeah. Like it
Wow.
definitely, like if let's just say it's at like 10 people on my website live, and then like I drop, it's like 30 at least for the next like 20-30 minutes, and then it goes back down. Yeah.
People actually noticing, watching your stories. I
Yeah,
guess, eh?
yeah.
So you have most engagement is on like your reels, and then a little bit of your stories as well.
Yeah, like Instagram in general, like it's just like a lot of engagement from there. Like when I post on my story as well. So like, let's say people don't see the post because of how like the algorithm is,
Yeah.
but they're gonna look at my story, or you know what I mean?
People click stories almost just as much as they scroll their feed.
100%. Yeah.
Like I do that. you
Yeah.
know?
Same. Like sometimes I don't even scroll my like feed. I just
Yeah.
look at stories and then
Yeah.
just close the app after, right?
Yeah.
So like that definitely helps. Like yeah, like a lot of people just look at stories. So I post on both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
And then sometimes sends like the emails and SMS helps a lot too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Shout out to you, and thanks for coming on again.
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
It's been so informative, and I learned a lot, and I hope anybody watching learned the same thing.
Yeah.
And let's next time let's do it in your shop.
Yeah, let's do it in the retail
Let's
store.
do
That's gonna
that
be
there.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
gonna be crazy.
I
Yeah.
want to hit up Toronto next
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
and
yeah.
let's do it in your
Yeah.
shop, all right?
Yeah. Let's get it done.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.